Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. I think we're just gonna head off. We are in Mundus Valancius now, so let's see. Let's chart new routes just to see what we can find. There's two obvious ones that we can reach. Lapidus Mortis, Litoribum Maledicta, Mortis Aces, Odonathus 6. Still don't know where Cranarch is, but that's fine. Okay. Save it here and let's visit Mundus Valancius. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman on the line. I can report that the quest for the capital world of the Von Valancius dynasty is finally at an end. Dargonus is straight ahead. We have received countless greetings. Your subjects would like to know when their master will be arriving. The merchant captains taking refuge in the orbital docks of Dargonus race to send you priceless welcoming gifts, hoping to buy your favor and to make an impression on the rogue trader. My subject should exercise patience. I will go to Dargonus later. I want to explore the planets first. So, let's say this. It will be done, Lord Captain. Lord Captain, I will be pleased to accompany you during your visit to Dargonus so I can personally introduce Achilles Scalander, a servant of the Golden Throne who previously attended Lady Theodora on Dargonus. I am counting on your benevolence. Adeptus Mechanicus ship, okay. Phlogiston. Okay, we have 6. Let's take the Phlogiston. Nothing on there. Nothing here either. Okay. Not sure why it keeps looping around the left side of every planet. Let's save it here. See what this Adeptus Mechanicus ship has to say. Lord Captain, a transport shuttle bearing the markings of the Adeptus Mechanicus is approaching the ship. Magos Tarsus' delegation intends to board our ship and gain an audience with your lordship. This is exactly how they phrased it. He intends, not humbly requests. Many of my tech comrades neglect diplomacy when interacting with the laity. It is regrettable. Let's just receive the delegation. It will be done. Requesting permission to be present at the audience granted to my tech comrades. Sure. Ooh, this is interesting. So Pasqal is coming along. We actually have level ups. Wonder what's actually happening that forces that's forcing Pasqal into the party with us. Okay, well, you know what? Save it here. I'm not sure if we're going to get a fight, but I think what I'll do is I'll level everyone up. And then once we come back, I'll explain everything. Well, explain all my choices, and then we'll go from there and see what the Adeptus Mechanicus wanted to say. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're back. For Elliot, I just took Cull the Bold. Jay, I picked up Combat Locust Stratagem. We have Overwhelming on Cassia, and I think we can spare the 1 AP for Cassia to use it when we need it, so that should be fine. And I just went with Combat Locust Stratagem to get a bonus to whichever zone I feel like we need. I took Reveal the Light. Should be a good buff to put on our tanks, and or someone just caught in melee and really needs a bit of a boost. And took Wall of Rockcrete, and I took Athletics for Abelard. I took Hot on the Trail for Pasqal, because we have Elliot for Cull the Bold, Claim the Bounty. Pasqal could probably kind of do it as well, but I'm kind of using Pasqal as the trapper and sort of the buffer, debuffer sort of thing, so I think Hot on the Trail works for him. And for Stooge, I gave him Awareness and Elusive Shadow, so we can mess around with that. A couple of times he's been stuck in weird positions, and this just allows him to move through enemies. I think he'll still trigger attacks of opportunity, but that's fine. So I think that's good, and we can move on. Oh, Opticon 22 is here. Interesting. Alright, so let's head in. Group dressed in the crimson of the priesthood of Mars walks towards you. Their gazes are fixed on Pasqal. You note that the group is not monolithic. Some of its members are more heavily armed and follow tech priests clad in battle armor. Others keep a respectful distance and cast inquiring looks at their own leader, whose hunched posture belies his tall frame. Despite the hood hiding his face, you recognize him as Opticon 22, whom you encountered on Footfall. The enormous tech priest points his hand at Pasqal and lets out a booming roar, not unlike a factory alarm. It makes your very bones vibrate. Herald servo skulls marked with the emblem of the cog follow in his wake. They blare shrilly. Thou shalt not suffer a heretic in thy forge, for rust begets rust. Pasqal Hanuman, in the name of the Adeptus Mechanicus, you are under arrest. The hunched servant of the Omnissiah turns to you. Diplomacy mode engaged. Announcement. The Adeptus Mechanicus offer their apologies, would like to inform you of the necessity of conducting an operation to detain, arrest, terminate a faulty unit on the Rogue Traders' territory. Okay, yeah, let's do this one. You identify the rare armor the enormous tech priest is wearing as a Secutor's plated mechanized suit. It carries the imprints of many battles and has markings that announce its status as a relic. Some of the armor's damage looks fairly severe to the point of endangering its operation. The slivers of flesh revealed under the steel are marked with terrible chemical burns. Every now and then, convulsions shake the tech priest's body, and a painful sounding hiss comes from his vox. The tall tech priest who spoke to you looks more peaceful and makes a point of not drawing his weapon. There is an air of concern about the way he frequently glances over at his fellow, scrutinizing his condition. Who are you? An instrument of the Omnissiah authorized to punish and exact vengeance, known by the designation Tarsus Hanuman. Identification codes recognize and confirm. These units are who they declare themselves to be. On what charge are you trying to arrest a member of my retinue? This heretic is accused of stealing personal identification codes, spreading tech heresy on the world of Kiava Gamma, and making an attempt on the life of a servant of the Omnissiah. The deafening roar from the tech priest's vox makes you grimace in pain. You touch your ear and notice the blood on your fingers. The faulty unit will be removed. In the name of the Omnissiah, I condemn you. Lightning flashes across the warrior's armor. Agony resounds in the blare of his vox alarm. In contrast, Pasqal speaks quietly and coldly. You are malfunctioning, tech comrade. I deem your logical conclusions questionable. The statement is false. Tech brother Tarzus Hanuman is willingly undergoing holy torment deterioration, which, however, does not critically affect his cognitive capacity for data analysis. Unit calling itself Pasqal Hanuman. We have information that implicates you, having learned that you are a member of the retinue, a maintenance specialist in the service of rogue trader von Valancius. We have come here with the goal of meeting you, intercepting you, engaging you in combat. Wait a minute, what is happening on Kiava Gamma? That planet belongs to me. According to Vox interception data, the planet's fabricator sensor made incorrect blasphemous modifications to manufactorum working procedures, which qualifies as a lapse into sacrilege. The Adeptus Mechanicus are hereby officially notifying House von Valancius of having commenced an investigation into operation to remove fabricator sensor Cubus Delphim. Estimated time to procedure completion 3.7 solar years. Our data suggests that the unit which used Magos Explorator Hanuman's identification code performed an unauthorized upgrade on the planetary Vox array and introduced data deemed to be scrap code into its operation. This fact points to this unit's criminal complicity with the heretic Cubus Delphim. What do you have to say to this, Pasqal? Pasqal firmly replies firmly, his vox crackling with a hint of indignation. I deny these charges. I never plotted against my tech comrade. My cognitive purity vows were never distorted. My unique identification code was never stolen. I am the true Magos Explorator Hanuman, and I am not guilty. False witness. Does the big fella have to roar? Negative. Upon completing his sanctification procedure, tech brother Tarzus vowed modified his engrammatic augmetics algorithms in order never to desecrate sully tarnish his mouth box cognitive process with flesh speak. Mine is a pure and binaric tongue that preserves only what is true and shuns scrap data. Are you saying this bloodthirsty Hulk is a saint? This statement is true. Brother Tarzus has the honor of wearing authorization to wear the sacred battle harness that belonged to Magos militant Ospector Gracchus, one of the first champions of the faith, holy scouts, to join the cause of conquering the Coronis Expanse. After his death, the termination of his vital functions at the hands of Xenos, his damaged Goliath-class armor was preserved and given the status of a relic. The Adeptus Mechanicus regard this act as voluntary martyrdom self-destruction for the glory of the Deus Mechanicus. This battle harness is classified as Cogni armor. The machine spirit living in it is strong and wise, but it took major damage in the course of Magos Gracchus' last battle. Besides sacred litanies and imperatives of service to the Omnissiah, the armor broadcasts a continuous signal of suffering and agony into Tech Brother Tarzus' mind. Do you have proof that this tech priest is who he claims to be? Confirmed. According to the archive entry 1E99237, Magos Explorer Tarzus Hanuman served on maintain the ship identifier classified in the capacity of a reliquary caretaker. He sustained extensive damage to both the organic and sacred part of his body in a series of sacrilegious breaches of the right of operation and assassination attempt. Owing to a statistically fortunate coincidence by the Omnissiah's grace, Enough of his operational capacity was preserved for him to don a Goliath model sacred battle harness, which would preserve his vital functionality. Archive entry personally data sealed by the captain of the identifier classifier. The sound from the tech priest's vox is like the moan of a bending steel beam. A servo skull declares, "For vengeance I thirst as I tread the path of vengeance, following a blasphemous miscreant's bloody tracks." Analysis of the security system showed that the assassin's heretics infiltrated the reliquary using Tech Brother Tarsus' unique identification code. Someone had stolen, duplicated Brother Tarsus' identity, which is a grade 3 transgression, and the unit making the allegedly criminal claim of being Pasqal Hanuman is known to have previously used and entered the stolen code. I'm not handing Pasqal over to you unless I see evidence. Let us get to the bottom of this matter together. Request approved. Ready to work in cooperative mode. Tarsus gives you a haughty look and lets out a howl of wrath. Archiving. Tech Brother Tarsus opposes lay participation in the investigation search for the truth. The unit Opticon 22 advises in favor of the House von Valancius representatives' participation request. I insist on a joint investigation. Arresting a rogue trader's retinue member without any justification stands in breach of the law and my privileges under the warrant of trade. Pasqal has accompanied me on my travels for a while now, and I can swear to it that he is no criminal. I can do both, okay? I mean, this one, the persuasion check obviously shows support for Pasqal, while the law Imperium check is a legal sort of things. And in this case, since they're bringing charges of heresy against Pasqal, I guess we should go with the law Imperium one. Follow the law and official protocol. Request for cooperation reviewed and accepted. I request Tech Brother Tarsus' consent to the co-participation of representatives of the von Valancius dynasty in the investigation proceedings. A sacrilegious conspiracy. I refuse help from lay persons. I'm a cog of the Deus Mechanicus that grinds down corruption, and I will carry out the sentence immediately. Really? Pasqal freezes, but green sparks light up in his visor. He extends a hand towards Tarsus and replies in a clanging voice, "Let the cycle be discontinued." You realize Pascal's words are coming from both his own vox and Tarsus's. Then every sensor on the executioner's battle harness lights up at once blindingly, and the wounded armored Leviathan lets out a deafening roar of pain. Attention! Priority notification. Service units of the Kappa thread supply line are unauthorized to confront the rogue trader. Command: retreat and reinitiate negotiations. I will wreak punishment upon you in the name of the Deus Mechanicus. Probability of conflict. Okay.
Performing target selection ritual.
Okay, so we are having a fight. Right, so need to be far away with Stooge. So let's go up here. Elliot can go back here, I suppose. Do we want to do that? How about we make it here? Just so that we can get rear on both of them, and they're both sort of in cover. Jay can go... Where do I want to put Jay? Further back? Actually, let's put... let's put Abelard here. Pasqal here. Cassia here. Tarsus is moving quite early. That's a bit concerning. Not sure exactly where I want to put Cassia then, but I think we can put Jay here. She should have line of sight to basically everyone. Cassia. Let's put her in full cover for now. When it is actually her turn, maybe we can move a bit to get into a better position to cast her navigator powers or attack. So let's start the battle. Now, 2 AP. So let's give Stooge...
That is foolishness.
Too far away, really? Ah, crap. That's not good. Okay, then. I'll give Stooge voice of command, then. And let's go with in turn, which means I can put rear over here. Yep, nice. And then I'll give Stooge an extra turn. Forgot to check what his dodge is. 55, okay. We have 2 action points. 288. Yikes, that's quite a bit. Yeah, let's put down an opening. And then we'll just shoot. Okay, 55. 5 extra direct damage, which is nice. Awesome. Alright, so now Jay has... Let's go with
Am I
Elliot.
getting paid for this?
Voice of command on Elliot. Okay. Killzone stratagem. Let's put that there. Front line. And we'll go Killzone stratagem here. Trying to put overwhelm on Tarsus with every shot. I can't reach. Okay. Take aim. Target's next attack will ignore cover and will have double the effective distance. Ignore enemy dodge. Okay. Well, let's give it to Stooge. Okay. Now. Alright, now you need to move. Let's try to drag them here.
I
Okay.
am a navigator, not a servitor.
Okay, we moved some of them. Oh, that's a pretty decent blast. Let's do that. Really? Didn't hit anything else? That's rather annoying. How about we do this? Ooh, that drag. Whoops. Maybe that wasn't such a great idea. That dragged Tarsus out of the Killzone stratagem. It might have been a bit of a mistake. But let's use Reveal the Light on Abelard. Ooh, 20 more wounds from that. That's pretty good. Can't complain about that at all. Okay, Tarsus walk back in. Parry. Okay. Nice. Abelard hasn't had a chance to use his thing yet, so that's a bit unfortunate. The perfect spot. And let's... Ooh, yes. That is some nice damage. And if it actually does that much damage, it should be close to a kill. Perfect. 133, and the extra damage just took them out, I suppose. Nice, okay. We've got an opening on this guy, so let's hit him. 0. That's not very handy. Okay. Analyze enemies. Okay. Joint analysis too. Alright. Now. Drop this trap here. And then now we're going to drop tactical knowledge.
Running binaric override.
Should be nice. And Machine Spirit. Yep, let's do it. And let's use Hot on the trail of that guy.
To serve.
And Elliot. Okay. Perfect
I am not your
spot.
Xenos pet monkey.
Cull the bold. Claim the bold. This guy is only tier 2. Okay. Well, let's put... No, we can't. That sucks. Okay.
If I must.
Pray on that. I guess this situation, this cover is blocking line of sight. That kind of sucks. Okay, let's take the shot. That's interesting. We could get 2 over penetration hits. Claim the bounty. Does not end them, but deals just 24% after each third enemy killed by claim the bounty. Okay, yeah. That's fine, so let's go like this.
No weakness is hidden from my sight.
Did we get? Can't tell if we actually got over penetration or not. 65, yeah, we got 1. Skitarius. Oh, okay. Missed the Skitarius, but we hit the other 2 guys, I guess. Okay. Bounty Hunter's next attack this turn will have additional effects. Okay. Difficulty tier 2, tier 2, tier 3. Okay. Let's go with that. Cull the Bold. Okay. Alright, so Cull the Bold is a 1-turn buff. That's fine. Claim the bounty. Can we actually get the kill? Maybe. No, we can't get... We only have 1 action point left, so we can't really do too much, but let's try. No. Okay, we didn't get a kill. That's fine. Okay, we ensnared him. Took the shot anyway. That's fine. Okay. Endure. Offensive stance. Wall of Rock Creep is also 2 AP. Doesn't reach anyone though, so that's... Okay, that's fine. Let's... So now we'll go right inside. All up in their face. And let's do this.
Indeed.
Nice. Should be dead. Not quite. Okay, now that it's Jay's turn. Does he still have take aim? No, he doesn't. Let's go with take aim. Bring it down. Okay. Does he have an opening at all? No, he doesn't. I don't think he does anyway. So let's put an opening down. And we are shooting him. Hopefully that kills him. I think it will with the direct damage. No, not quite. Okay. That's fine. This will kill this guy. Yep. Okay. We have 4 shots left. Let's go with Stooge. Finest hour. Let's shoot that guy. Should be dead. We'll hit the sharpshooter. Aim for the opening on the sharpshooter. Okay. That's a lot more damage. Nice. He dies. No, he doesn't. 7. Okay. I'm banking on this, him taking some damage from the Death Whisper. So we'll see how that goes. Let's drop a trap.
Running binaric override.
Oh, missing the hot in the trail then. And J. Let's see. Not going to do too much else. She could run forwards, I
battlefield air is
suppose.
good for my lungs.
Not sure if we can still use our stuff with her, but that's beside the point now, I think. Doesn't do much damage, that's for sure. Or she does 0 damage, actually. Okay, let's try and drag them down here, if possible. Nope, not possible, apparently. Doesn't reach. Let's do
If
this.
I may,
Yeah, that guy dies. That's what we wanted. Didn't move though. Use
I'm
that
not
on Jay.
accustomed to being
Just give her a bit
ordered
more survivability. And we'll end the turn. Okay. Reload. Put the opening towards us. And then let's shoot. And the Death Whisper should be a kill. Yep. Requesting cessation of hostilities. Help your brother. The unit that called itself Tarsus Hanuman is dead, has been disabled. This material asset is beyond restoration or reuse as spare parts. After a pause, Pasqal bows his head and a Binaric Requiem pours out of his vox. Despite his misconceptions, he was a servant of Omnissiah. What have you done to Tarsus? Pascal's confused reply comes from his vox in a rasp. Unable to fulfill request, the Omnissiah granted me an epiphany and I muted the main machine spirit that was filling Tarsus' mind with fury. I do not fully understand the manner of my appeal to it. The situation perfectly mirrors the incident on Rika and Minoris where I appealed to the machine spirit of a malfunctioning mechanism and laid it to rest. I'm sorry that you had to kill a comrade. I also regret have a negative assessment of this event. The Adeptus Mechanicus still accuse the unit identifying itself as Pasqal Hanuman of criminal theft of a unique identification code. Unlike Tech Brother Tarsus, I'm not authorized to immediately execute the unit, but neither am I authorized to drop the inquiry. There are no apostates among us. The piercing voice from the Vox synth is more overwhelming than Tarsus's thunderous roar. Tech Brother Tarsus and the machine spirit that lived in his battle harness succumbed to the suffering that beset them. Their judgment was rash and erroneous. Now their torment is over. I declare them martyrs and am requisitioning Tarsus Hanuman's neural augmetic for the purposes of preserving his blessed memory. As astonished tech priests look on, Pasqal leans over the slain man's body and extracts the augmetic from his skull. His movements are as precise as they are respectful. Whatever you did, just it's working, keep going. With each word, Pasqal's voice grows more powerful and majestic. You saw the agony your tech brother Tarsus was in. His unbridled pain spurred faith, intimidated you, yet you were silent. Reverence stopped you from raising your voices to proclaim that the machine spirit with which his mind had merged was morbidly afflicted. The imperative of reverence had paralyzed your will, and you watched a tragedy unfold in silence. The sixth universal law states that comprehension is the true path to knowledge. Yet the procedural cycle has robbed you of your comprehension. Therefore, let the cycle be discontinued. There is a clang as Opticon's knees presses into the floor. Crimson hooded heads are bowed. Let the cycle be discontinued. Not sure what exactly that means, to be honest. The radiant light pouring out of Pasqal's visor grows dimmer. Static creeps back into his voice. Let the cycle be discontinued, tech comrades. Pasqal, there's one small point I'm not clear on. What just happened? I decided to sustain my words with an excerpt from one of the Blessed Amanat's sermons on loss of internal and external function, verse 4. My analysis deemed it appropriate. What was the reason for that act of genuflection? It has been a long time since the words of the Messiah of discontinuing were last spoken, openly over public communication bans. We respectfully welcome wisdom's return. So he is not forgotten after all. So I guess it was some kind of funeral rite, and it was some kind of chant for the passing of one of their brothers, I suppose? The Messiah of discontinuing. Is that how you refer to Amanat? Following Archmagos Amanat's partial laicization, removal from the chain of command, that was the authorship attribution on a series of sermons on discontinuing the cycle that were disseminated across the Cognizance fleet. It was, in fact, the title used by many in times past. Is Amanat's teaching not heretical? This statement is false. Contrary to what many servants of the Omnissiah thought they knew, preferred to believe, the fleet's Supreme Conclave never issued an official statement on that decision. 37% of the Supreme Conclave's members openly supported Archmagos Amanat's views and were removed from the chain of command under circumstances that were classified. The Supreme Conclave has not had a quorum ever since. Do you know where Amanat is now? Negative. I had no contact with Archmagos Amanat and was never a member of his flock disciples' retinue. However, my analysis of the doctrine he outlined inspired in me deep, respectful trust in him. What? Were you among his followers, okay? Do you know where Amanat is now? Data unavailable. No reports have mentioned Archmagos Amanat since the incident on the Arch Mechanicus Hermetico, which led to the presumed disappearance of that void ship. My archive has no data on the Hermetico incident. Vessel was the Blessed Amanat's base of operations. Is it lost then? I presume the conflict between you and Pasqal has been resolved. The data received provides a basis for calling the fallen tech brother Tarsus's hypothesis into question. Out of respect for, due to lack of authorization to indict followers of the Messiah of discontinuing, we will not proceed with the detainment, arrest, termination. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Thank you, Tech Brother Opticon 22. Now that the conflict has been resolved, you may remain aboard my ship. Request denied. The Kappa Thread supply line delegation is leaving Dargonus, expresses gratitude for the hospitality ceasefire, and proclaims its intent to return to Footfall to resume performing its regular functions. The tech priest looks over at Pasqal as if waiting for something. Pascal's mechadendrite briefly touches the shoulder of Opticon 22, who bows respectfully. Okay. That is a very interesting turn of events. Okay, so let's save it here. Tarsus, what gear do you have? Okay. Omniscient Axe. Fair enough. Okay. Is there anything else in here? Doesn't look like it. Right.
Marching on.
Well, I guess we're done in this place. Turn to the Void Ship Bridge. Okay. Well, that was interesting to see that the Adeptus Mechanicus can go down that sort of route. And yeah, some of the reading of the words there was pretty tough, but we got through it. So let's go to the Coronis Expanse map, and we'll see if we can actually head down to the planet Dargonus. So explored everything else. The Adeptus Mechanicus ship is gone, so let's go. Gotta do a scan again. Administratum von Valancius Palace. The Worlds of the Expanse. Okay, so Dargonus gets its own entry apparently. Let's go to the palace. Do we want to bring Heinrichs? It's not needed at this point in time. Hang on. Let's... Oops, wrong button. Spiders in a jar. Make planet 4. Yes, okay. Secrets of the cult. So Heinrichs is going to Kiava Gamma. Okay, so that's fine. This should be okay, I think. Yeah, I think this will be okay. So let's take this party. Clementier Versarian. The Emperor protects. Welcome home, your lordship. A stately woman in a long full-dress uniform makes a graceful curtsy. Her short greying hair does not obscure her stern features. Okay, is this Abelard's wife or mother or sister or something? I am Clementier Versarian, Court Chancellor of the von Valancius dynasty. On behalf of all of Dargonus, please accept my deepest condolences on the untimely passing of Theodora von Valancius. Her departure is a terrible blow to us all, but as one star expires, another always flares to life. And although still overcome with bitterness and grief, your subjects hope that you will become the Trade Dynasty's guiding light in these trying times. Clementia. Abelard offers a reserved nod. She nods in return, and the lines on his brow soften ever so slightly. Achilles Scalander. The young man quickly brings a respirator to his burnt face and bows his head courteously. His raven black hair veils his burns and skull implants, and his thin metal fingers creak quietly as he offers a welcoming gesture. Achilles Scalander, Secretary of the Administratum Department. I hope your journey to Dargonus was not darkened by unwanted troubles. The Emperor protected us on our journey through the stars. And may he remain merciful to us till the end of time. Does your lordship wish to survey the grounds, or perhaps we could sate your curiosity by answering any questions you might have? Governor Urban Drivestem has been notified of your arrival on Dargonus and will visit the palace shortly. The preparations for the official visit are well in hand, but your lordship still has plenty of time before the meeting. Hold on a moment, Clementia. What did you say your last name was? You heard correctly, your lordship. I am of House of Assyrian, Lord Abelard's granddaughter and direct descendant. Okay, so it's granddaughter. Succession of service is an effective good. It grants new generations understanding of their function within the mechanism. Chancellor of Assyrian has held a position at the von Valancius court for many years. She earned Lord Captain Theodora's respect through acts of great perseverance. There's no room for doubt. Blood had nothing to do with it. The Emperor blesses those who strengthen humanity's domain through their deeds. You have reason to be proud of your progeny. Thank you, Lord Captain. Why isn't the governor here with you to greet me? Apologies, your lordship. Governor Drivestem's residence is on the other side of the world by the administrative palace of Dargonus. We sent word as soon as you enter the system, but it takes time to travel the great distances of your domain. Fair enough. Chancellor of Assyrian appears unruffled, but cannot shake the thought that the governor's lateness is a subtle political gesture designed to test the limits of what is acceptable when it comes to interacting with the new rogue trade. I would like to rest before the meeting. Where are my chambers? They are very close, just down the hall. That is also where the study and the audience chamber are. Achilles' face brightens with a pearly white smile, restoring some of his former good looks. Lady Theodora's study has remained locked since her last departure, but on account of your arrival, we've arranged for it to be tidied up. It is ready whenever you may need it. You are dismissed. I apologize for my bluntness, but I have a request to make. Perhaps before the meeting takes place, the illustrious Lord Captain could spare a few minutes for conversation with me. I'm certain that you will find my report on the state of affairs in the von Valancius Protectorate most useful. Okay, so this is similar to being on the Void ship. You don't have your party with you. They show up here. Okay, and you basically wander around by yourself. Okay, that's where they all are. So Jay is here, Iliad is there, Argenta is there. Let's head inside. Okay, let's save it here. And let's see, yep, they're all inside here. Heinrichs is over there. Let me inform you of the location of the chambers on your dynastic estate. Okay. Main throne room is up the stairs and straight ahead. Your subject Achilles Scalander informed me that he humbly waits the opportunity to meet with you there. Okay, the throne room. If your lordship wishes to rest after your long journey, then your personal chambers are up the stairs and on the right. Okay. If you need anything, whatever your soul desires, I'll be right next to your chambers, eagerly awaiting your orders. Alright, fine. Let's go see what this loot is. Augurated Tech Priest. Warden. Warden. Servitor. Okay. Save it again. Okay. Cargo. Right. Okay. Servant. Alright, nice. We have breeze catcher boots. Whenever the wearer moves through a cell occupied by an enemy, the wearer gains 15% dodge against that enemy's attacks until the wearer's next turn. Seems okay. More cargo. Leather covers bear the names of the authors, mostly philosophers and theologians from Dargonus. The spines of the books are trimmed with gold. Okay. Electrified shard net. Artifacts. Alright. This antique piece of furniture is obviously well cared for, but its surface is still covered with a lot of scuffs, scratches, and stains. Traces of the previous rogue traders who sat at this table. Yeah, that's fine. Cogitator, producing rhythmic sounds. Remains of a plot can be seen on the frame, okay. Is this where that dude is? Jeez, okay. Tech use is 50%. Actually worked, okay. Multi-melter. Right. Interesting. Sturdy safe equipped with several bizarre mechanisms. Okay, this is just a balcony that overlooks into space or something. That's interesting. Alright, so let's go find... what's his face? Achilles Scalander. Although, do we want to talk to Heinrichs first? Lamentia Vaserian. Idira is over there. Okay. So, Achilles... okay, so... it's talking with Heinrichs. Let's save it here. The lack of observers on this world has led your nobles to become extremely complacent. Today alone I overheard 3 statements that, if I so wanted, could be turned into grounds for a charge of heresy. The slender figure clad in robes made from expensive fabric shudders from violent coughing. Pressing a gilded respirator to his face, the man takes several deep breaths. Achilles, it's been many moons. I hope your cousin is feeling well. Achilles covers his burnt lips, trying and failing to suppress a coughing fit. She's in good health. She sends her regards to you as well as her wishes for your swift return. Heinrichs frowns. For as long as the stars shine in the sky, my vigil continues. So it does. Achilles thumps himself on the chest with his augmented hand. You hear the clanging of metal against metal. I'm not so foolish as to fail to notice a conversation in code. Your insight deserves credit, Rogue Trader. Then again, I expected nothing less from Theodora von Valancius' successor. Allow me to introduce Achilles Scalander properly. In addition to his duties as Secretary of the Administratum, he acts as an agent of the Golden Throne under my aegis. Master Scalander was transferred into my remit by a colleague who is engaged in other matters in the Coronis Expanse. I'm sure you will find Achilles' service useful, especially when dealing with the schemes of humanity's foes within the borders of your protectorate. Greetings, Lord Stooge von Valancius. Allow me once again to express my deepest condolences on the loss of Lady Theodora. I will do everything I can to track down and destroy all of Conrad Voigtbeer's accomplices on the capital world. Do you know anything about what has become of Conrad Voigtbeer? The former Master of Whispers is a heretic and a traitor to the dynasty. Word of his treason reached Dargonus too late. Conrad came to the planet and left it almost immediately once he had sown discord in the minds of the gullible and naive. The worst of the rumors he started was that you were the one responsible for Lady Theodora's sudden demise. Of course, your loyal subjects did their best to skin alive any who showed signs of doubt, but it seems unlikely that the wardens got to everyone who has allowed doubt into their heart, and now it nurtures it in secret. You promised me a report on the present state of affairs in the Protectorate. I've already forwarded all official reports to your Seneschal. As for the conversation we're having right now, I wouldn't trust any paper or data slate with its contents. You see, Lady Theodora, may the Emperor have mercy on her soul, was perfectly aware of Dargonus' political environment. You, however, have only just arrived on the capital world, and I thought it would be best to bring you up to speed. Frankly, the nobles of Dargonus, much like nobles on most worlds, are akin to spiders in a jar, ready to pounce on whoever is the weakest or whoever they deem to be the weakest. The nobles of Dargonus are well-respected, rich and powerful individuals who held Lady Theodora's favor for many years and found ways to rise above the rest by diligently serving the rogue trader. Every family pursues its own selfish interests, and each one expects that the transition of power they will retain and even add to their lands and wealth. The families I would recommend giving particular attention to are the Drivestens, the Gapraks, and the Sauerbachs. I should also mention the Versarians, not a noble house per se, but a family that was part of Lady Theodora's inner circle, to the Blue Bloods' great displeasure. Tell me about the Drivestems. The Drivestems are the ancient governor house of Dargonus. Predictably, the greater the wealth of the von Valancius Protectorate, the fuller their coffers grow. Their reputation is flawless, except for one detail. We have evidence that Urban Drivestem's rivals seem to have the misfortune of regularly falling victim to Xenos raids. I find that these attacks are always a little too advantageous for the Drivestems, but we lack solid proof and it might never surface. The closer an official is to a rogue trader, the braver and safer they feel. I would just like to remind everyone that rubbing shoulders with Xenos is a heresy that can be overlooked only in the case of the von Valancius heir, not his servant. What makes the Gapraks so special? The Gapraks hail from a remote forge world, and among their distant relatives there are many servants of the Omnissiah, and the house itself is close to the cult of the Adeptus Mechanicus, both in spirit and in their business connections. The Gapraks oversaw the industrial shipments within your protectorate until recently. Ever since the astropathic communication with Kiava Gamma was severed, they've been quite concerned about the security of the planet placed in their care. What can you tell me about House Sauerbach? Religious and hard-working, the Sauerbachs own many enterprises, including distillation manufactorums that produce promethium. I must note that lately members of the Sauerbach family have been prone to overly liberal statements about the von Valancius dynasty. They believe that Lady Theodora is a bit too keen to leave her worlds without proper oversight. I would like to know more about the Versarians. The Versarians are a line founded by Lady Theodora's seneschal, and as such are nominally considered nobility, at least from the standpoint of the Imperial Navy from which Abelard hails. On Dargonus, however, their position is precarious. Firstly, they never were granted an official title, a process which has been impeded for decades by the old houses of Dargonus. And secondly, the other families do not see them as equals, but more as upstarts clinging to the rogue trader's favor. The Versarians are responsible for the capital world's fleet and the majority of the cargo shipments on domestic routes. After hearing all that, I now feel the urge to have every one of those sycophants executed at once. Let's see what this option, what kind of response this option elicits. Achilles shrugs. You are naturally well within your right, Rogue Trader, but remember that this will cause the multi-layered bureaucratic system of Dargonus, of your entire protectorate, in fact, to come apart at the seams. That's not even considering the likelihood of attempted reprisals from their families and allies. I would hold off on the death sentences, act with restraint and wisdom, present for all to see sufficient proof of the unwanted house's guilt. Do not mistake me. Mass executions are one way to solve your problems, but in that case you should weigh up every possible scenario before you act. Yeah, it was more of a sarcastic line, I suppose, but maybe in the game wasn't, the dialogue for the game wasn't intended that way. Enough about the nobles. Was there anything else you wanted to report? There was, your lordship, and this time it concerns the main reason for my presence on this planet. Xenos and the threat they pose both to you and to humanity as a whole. The last few months have been difficult for the people who report to me. My eyes and ears scattered throughout the Dargonus expanse, warp disturbances, astropaths overcome with madness, ships disappearing in the immaterium. Many of my observers and contacts have gone dark or have been killed by some calamity or other. Still, I managed to establish communication with some key individuals who were able to warn me about incoming threats, including Xenos raids. It is within my power to supply you with the intelligence on where and when the Xenos will strike next. I do not doubt that Governor Drivestem will beg you for protection against the Xenos, and in this fight the information from my contacts will serve you well. I beseech you, Stooge, if I ever report a threat looming over a ship or a planet, do not dismiss it. Sometimes it takes an intervention from the Rogue Trader and his mighty void ship to avert a disaster. Tell me about the nobles, houses of Dark. Is this the one we already did? Yep. Okay. That's fine. Okay. What are your responsibilities here on Dargonus? Officially, I'm a secretary at this world's administrative department. Less officially, I'm afraid I can't disclose that even to you. In short, I collect and investigate reports of heresy taking root on upstanding planets of humanity. Above all else, I'm concerned about the Xenos threat that hangs over the entire Dargonus expanse, including your protectorate. Sadly, my mission was complicated by the recent warp disturbances. I'm still trying to re-establish contact with many of my agents. Tell me about Xenos. The residents of the local systems are no strangers to skirmishes with enemies of humanity, but recently the loathsome beasts seem to have completely flown off the handle. We're receiving reports from ships that made it through the warp to Dargonus. Both they and the colonies that they departed from are being attacked. We have identified the breed of Xenos that pose this threat, the Drukhari, humanity's ancient and insidious foes. Be vigilant on your travels. The Xenos will undoubtedly attack a Rogue Trader ship should they find the circumstances to be in their favor. Unfortunately, in the host of humanity, there are those who are willing to grovel before our enemies in the hopes of a valuable reward. You may be interested to know that we are on the trail of such heretics. Overwhelming evidence indicates that a marauded void station in Langren's belt is being used as a base by a band of pirates who are not above dealing with Xenos. I was unable to persuade the Chancellor of the need to dispatch a ship there, but perhaps you would like to pay a courtesy call to these scoundrels yourself. Do you know anything about the cult of the Final Dawn? My knowledge is deplorably limited, your lordship. All my attention has been focused on tracking Xenos activity. I'm certain that Master Van Kalox can tell you much more about those heretics than I. About your unofficial work. Yes? Whom do you truly serve, the Rogue Trader or the Interrogator of the Inquisition? And whom does the Rogue Trader serve? The Golden Throne, the Protectorate? Could it be that one stems from the other? And if so, Is there any sense in discussing? Well, not going to demand any of these, so that's fine. I have other questions to ask. The scars on your face, what happened? About 5 years ago, there was an accident. Several tanks of promethium exploded in the storehouse at my estate, and I was buried alive under the rubble. The Emperor preserved my soul, and the skilled physicians of Dargonus saved my body except for my lungs, with which I had to part. I presume the incident was an attempt on my life, but the identity of whoever was behind it remains a mystery. Okay, must take my leave. According to the message I received a few minutes ago, Governor Drivestem has arrived at court. I imagine that the Chancellor is already prepared to arrange the meeting. All that's left is to notify her that you are ready to see Urban. Okay. Spiders in a jar. Tell Chancellor Viserion you are ready to receive the Governor. Okay. Alright. Well, I think this is a good place to end the episode. We dealt with a weird Adeptus Mechanicus sort of investigation. We finally made it to Dargonus, and talking to Achilles, we found out some very interesting things about the planet and what might be unfolding. So now that we're ready to talk to Drivestem, who is one of the, I guess he's the leader of the Drivestem family here on Dargonus, so that should be interesting. But for now, I think this is a good place to stop. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah, see you in the next episode where we find out a bit more about what's going on in Dargonus. See you then.